The best thing about Circuit for me is probably the fact that we are comfortable figuring out our own solutions to the problems that we have and iterating on top of what we've already figured out, rather than having to use the accepted solutions and accepted ways of doing things. So I think that means that we can maybe tackle harder problems, or we can find better ways of working than if we should just pull various processes off the shelf.
Impact, if I would have to sum it up in one word, everyone is like very strongly contributing to solutions that directly impact the lives of millions of people around the world. And that really, creates a lot of motivation to go into work every morning.
I think we have quite a different way of operating than most, and it does take people a little bit longer to really bed in with the way that we work and understand how we make decisions and how we work together.
So my favorite thing is the impact, and I think the toughest thing is the flip side of this. Sometimes you will have to make decisions that will impact the lives of millions of people, and you're not always going to be very confident that you're making the right decision. But in general, once you get used to it, I think it's fine, because we also found an approach where those kind of failures are just part of the learning process for us. So in the end, it's just part of the game.
Semi-async means using the right form of communication for the problem you have, rather than defaulting everything to a meeting. So it means if you can get to an answer more asyncly, like with text-based, you should do that. But it doesn't mean that we never do meetings. It just means that most of the time a meeting is not the right way to get to a solution.
What it really is a balance between allowing individuals to work at the moments that works the best for them, while also enabling an efficient style of teamwork. So basically, sometimes you're going to be stuck on something and you can take your time to take a break and get back to it when you've cleared your head. Other times you're going to get in deep flow, so you have the chance to just work for 2-3 hours straight without being disturbed. Jack and I, before founding Circuit, we had been working together on and off for 5 years. And we just met online, so there was no option for us to meet in person. Everything was fully digital, and we were doing this as a side business, just as like a hobby project. So that was also outside of working hours. So that was kind of unintentionally async. So we were working remotely and semi-async before those terms were even, before they even existed the way they're used today.
If you have people living in different time zones, then you have to be a bit more async. Otherwise, everyone has to try and work in the same time zone, and it's just not realistic when you live in different countries. So if you want to be able to hire from anywhere and attract the best talent from the time zones that we operate in, then you have to have a lot of your communication be async or semi-async, because some stuff has to be done face-to-face. The fact that we're remote and we're async, it means that you can be maybe a little bit less connected to your colleagues, or it's harder to build those connections, and you have to be more active about doing it. The fact that we give a lot of responsibility and a lot of freedom to work in the way that you want means that you can miss some guidance. And then, it's about deciding what's right for you and whether or not this is the right company, or you want to work somewhere where the trade-offs are different and more suited to what you want.
So for example, remote, of course, you're going to have a lot of fewer social contact with your colleagues. I think for the people we have in the company, that's fine, because they also have more flexibility and they get that need somewhere else. And there's also the increased responsibility, which some people enjoy, because you can affect more change in the company and the product. Other people might not like the additional responsibility and might prefer a role where it's a bit more, the responsibility is more shared among the team, so it's a bit less stressful. You have a lot of responsibility as an individual, which for new people can be intimidating, because you're not so familiar yet with the process, you're not very familiar with the products, but still you get thrown into new projects where you are the end decision maker for a lot of questions. But we did find that people grow into it pretty quickly and start enjoying the fact that they do have those extra responsibilities, but also more impact and can affect more change within the company.
People that join the team probably struggle most with the fact that they've suddenly got a lot more ability to work in the way that they want to. and that can sometimes come across as not having a lot of guidance. And I think that's very different to what most people are used to. And I think it just takes everyone a bit of time to become a bit more comfortable with that and realise that actually there isn't anything else they should be doing. They are doing everything right, but it is just different to what they're used to.
So we found that the best fit for Circuit is people who have high intrinsic motivation and primarily just care about building great products.
I think people that thrive here generally have a lot of get up and go. Maybe it's a bit of a British term, but you know, can be given a challenge and will then go and figure out how to solve it off their own back. I think that people who generally need a bit more guidance can sometimes struggle a little bit because we give it to you to decide how best to do it. But I think that yeah, those who can just take a problem and just go and figure out how to solve it, however difficult it is, are the people that get on best here.
I would say it's very hands-off compared to most other companies. Again, because it's a flat structure, it's a small company, a lot of responsibility for any individual. So the way it typically works is we will give people the problem that we're trying to solve, and then we just like to let them do their best work.
I think I lead by example. I won't ask anyone to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. And I think I can be flexible based on the type of person that I'm managing or leading. I think there's a number of different ways of getting something done, and it doesn't need to be the same for everybody. But yeah, I think I push people to do as well as they can.
I think because all the interviews that I did till this day, so I take like maybe like 2 hours to do that type of questions.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm hungry.
Right, yeah, let me know when you're ready.